Hi people, welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to do another of the Am I the Asshole Christmas edition type of video because I really enjoyed doing that last week, so this week I want to do it again. I hope you guys enjoyed that video last week because that's what we're doing this week. So let's just start this off with Am I the Asshole for not wanting coal for Christmas? This year I went to my fiance's house for Christmas. It was my first time going, as we would typically go to my family's house instead. I got a rather pricey gift for my fiance, Dan, related to his hobbies. I got nice gifts for Dan's parents based off of things I talked about with them before. And I got a small pack of chocolates for each of Dan's other relatives. I didn't know them that well. I wasn't expecting many gifts from Dan's relatives because I didn't know many of them that well, but I was certainly expecting more than I got. At first, I was excited when I saw that there was a big pile of gifts for me. However, once I opened the first one, I was just a piece of coal. Everyone laughed. And I just kind of laughed along thinking it was a gag gift and that the other gifts would be different. But every single one turned out to be coal. All 18 of them. 18 pieces of coal. Because you were naughty this year? Is that why? Okay. That's why you get coal at Christmas, right? I'm not sure because we celebrate a different kind of gift giving in December. But coal is for naughty people, right? So, and okay. Your fiance's family thought it would be fun to give you coal for Christmas because you were naughty. That sounds horrible. Yoop. Are you going to join us? I started to get upset, so I cried and lashed out at Dan, but he calmly explained apparently this is a long-standing tradition in his family where they give coal to newcomers who are celebrating Christmas with them for the first time. He explained it's just easier that way since all the relatives who might not know the newcomer well don't have to stress over finding a gift, and it's a fun experience for the newcomer as well. Well, yeah, I guess. You know what it is? The Christmas isn't about the gifts, is it? You shouldn't be too upset about getting coal because, as they said, they don't really know you that well. It's your first Christmas with this family, so they thought it'd be good to not stress about giving you something. And you know what? How fun would it be to get 18 gifts of things that you don't want just cluttering up your house, and then you are stuck with this particular gift for a very long time in your house because you don't want to get rid of it because, it was a gift. I have definitely had some gifts that I have kept for years and years, never using them because it's just not something that I would use. I think it would be better to get cool as a fun joke and then the next year get real gifts once the people in your family know you better. And crying over this is a bit dramatic, isn't it? I mean, I get that it is disappointing, but crying over it, I don't know. I told Dan I couldn't believe I skipped my own family celebration for this and left. But now Dan and some of his family are blowing up my phone saying I embarrassed him in front of his relatives and that I made it awkward for everyone. So am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole, but I think you are being a bit dramatic. I do get that if you skipped your own family's Christmas, it is very upsetting. I understand. Yeah, but I think it's just cool. It's just, this sounds like a very materialistic problem that you shouldn't be having. They are making a joke. It was harmless. You're not the asshole, but I don't think they are the asshole either. I think there are no assholes here. The overall vote on this is not the asshole, but I don't think there are any assholes in this story at all. I think you're being a little bit dramatic. Sorry about that. Let's see the top comment. Not the asshole. You skipped your family's Christmas for this, and they shouldn't have done this to you without a warning or your consent. No, I don't agree. it wouldn't be a joke if you knew about it beforehand. And I don't know, I don't think they needed your consent for giving you coal. It's not that deep. Just because they enjoy this tradition doesn't mean it can't be hurtful to you. And they clearly ruined the occasion and then gave you a stupid explanation. I don't think it was stupid. I think it was actually a good explanation. I think they're right. If they don't know you well, there is no point in giving you a gift. I mean, I guess it would have been nice if they gave you some chocolates, maybe a lottery ticket, something like that. But yeah, no, I think you're blowing this way out of proportion. Especially your fiance is inconsiderate in all of this. You deserve better. This was legit humiliation. Come on. It wasn't. Come on. Why are we all so upset about this? So, the thing about me you have to understand is that I did not grow up in America, and I have never celebrated Christmas in that capacity, because we do celebrate Christmas here where I'm from, but it is mainly just being together with your family and eating and having a fun time. And it isn't doing the gift giving, because we have Sinterklaas, which is actually what gift giving and Santa Claus is based upon. But that is not during Christmas. It is the 5th of December, and there is no coal involved in that. I think when kids are being naughty, they get a packet of salt, is what we do here. If you're a child and you're getting a sack of salt, a little packet of salt, instead of gifts, yes, you're very upset and you're going to cry. But when you are a full grown up, you're not going to cry over that. I think the coal thing is the same as the salt is. Or at least it is very similar. And yeah, I think you're being dramatic. I think it's not that deep. Getting gifts that you're not going to do anything with, because they are gifts from people that don't know you, and they gave you some random shit that you are not sure what to do with, is just as bad as getting cool. I think you're being dramatic. Okay, next comment. Not the asshole, totally agree. This was a thoughtless and mean spirited thing to do. It wasn't. Why are we all so upset about this? You were so thoughtful and kind to them, and I am so sorry. Hope you had a happier time with your family. Tell your fiance you need time to think about this. This was a bad joke. Block all others. You don't need their continued negativity. You did nothing wrong. It's totally on them. Why are we also being so dramatic about this? This isn't that bad, right? Why? Huh? I'm so confused. Not the asshole. It's a long-standing tradition to haze and humiliate new potential family. Haze and humiliate. What am I not getting about this? Is this a family or a threat? What am I not getting? It's just cool. It's just, are we this materialistic that we cannot take it when we do not get gifts? Come on. Not the asshole. One box with coal in it would have been a fun gag. That's true. Not 18 and nothing else whatsoever though. Then it's just cruel. Yeah, I agree. They should have given you something like chocolates, like you did them, and maybe they could have asked Dan about what your interests are, so that they could have given you more gifts, I guess. But I think we're being dramatic. Not the asshole on the sheer idea that you skipped time with your family to be humiliated. Humiliated 18 times in a row. Humiliated. Families that do this sort of shit are toxic. This is literal hazing. Okay, because it's family. I'm not. There's something I'm not seeing. I'm sure. Not the asshole. I'm so tired of seeing posts like this where people willingly choose not to inform their partners who they love about their family traditions like this. If it's a joke, it's hard to tell you about it because that would ruin the joke. They don't get to be mean to you and then judge you for your reaction. You left your family where you'd surely be treated with love and respect to be with his family where they gave you the complete opposite. I think I do not get the thing of giving coal to someone at Christmas, because I feel like everyone is overreacting. Please let me know in the comments down below what I am missing here, because I feel like everyone is being so dramatic about some call. I mean, I get that it is not fun to not get any gifts while everyone else is getting gifts, but also, are we this materialistic? Is that what we have come to? Is it not about being with your family but about getting gifts? I don't. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. So the next one is a short one. Am I the asshole for banning alcohol from Christmas? My husband's family likes to drink. Every holiday includes multiple bottles of wine, cocktails. I hate drinking. I never drank. My father was an alcoholic. I think it's childish if you have fun without drink. If you can't have fun without drinking, childish. Who says they can't have fun without drinking, by the way? This year I'm hosting Christmas for a change. I decided, since it's at my house, no alcohol allowed. We are all getting older and it's time to grow up. Isn't alcohol for grown-ups? My husband's sister called to ask what she could bring. She saw a recipe for a Christmas martini that she wanted to bring. I told her about my no alcohol rule. She didn't say much, but must have told the rest of the family. Some of them started texting me, asking me if I was serious and saying that it is lame, but I'm not budging. Now it turns out my husband's sister is hosting an alternate gathering that almost everyone is choosing to go to instead. It's so disrespectful, all because they would have to spend one day sober. My husband told me he talked to his sister and we are invited to her gathering, and he says we should just go and stop causing issues. But I won't, it's so rude. Now husband is mad because I'm making him stay home and spend Christmas with me, but it was my turn to host and I chose to have no alcohol. They could have dealt with it for 1 year. So, am I the asshole? The sister is definitely an asshole because she is doing an alternate party. But I think, you know what, I do get that you probably have some trauma associated with drunk people because your father was an alcoholic, but I also think that the way you talk about serving alcohol, first of all, is a little bit asshole-ish. You're making them out to be bad people just for drinking, and you're making them out to be less than just for drinking. And I also do get that if this family, if my family is to go by as an example, I do not see them all that often because busy schedules. We're not close to one another in proximity. I mean, that it would be easy to just pop by every once in a while. So we see each other like once a month, I would say. And Christmas time is the only time where we are together in the way that, Christmas is celebrated by everyone in a different way. And if your husband's family likes to spend Christmas drinking, and they enjoy having a drink with each other, you are taking away from that because Christmas is just once a year. It is not just one day, it is an entire year you're taking away from them. So yeah, that is pretty asshole-ish. It is your house and your gathering, so you can choose your rules, but you cannot be mad when they choose not to come because of your rules, I think. So let's see the top comment. You are the asshole. And the Grinch who stole Boozmas. That is exactly true. It's basically what I said in just a few words. Let's see if anyone agrees with OP. You're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're the asshole. Info. Have any past Christmas events been absolutely ruined because of alcohol? By that I mean violence, drama, puking on the floor, whatever. If not, this is pretty strange rule to implement with your husband's family. They have nothing to do with your father being an alcoholic. If my boyfriend told my mother she can drink wine with her Christmas supper, I would find that weird as hell, yes. You're the asshole unless something truly awful happened previously due to alcohol that would explain this. I think so too. And also, what you're saying is that you're not letting your husband spend Christmas with his family because of your no alcohol rule. That is also very asshole-ish. That goes too far, in my opinion, actually. So this commenter says, I was hovering between no assholes here and you are the asshole, but I'm going to go with you're the asshole. The reason I'd say no assholes here is because you can set the rules at your house. They can choose not to attend because of it. However, I do think you're the asshole because of your attitudes towards people who drink, your judgmental attitude, just like I said, for shoving your husband in the middle and for thinking everyone else is the asshole because they don't want to make the same choices you do. You're banning alcohol because you personally think it's childish. You're judging people who drink and you're surprised they don't want to get together with you. Neither would I. And not because you're not serving alcohol, but because you are snobby, holier than thou attitude. You think you're better than them because you don't drink, or at the very least, that's the vibe you're giving off. Yes, I think I agree with this commenter for sure. I'm not seeing anyone saying that she's not the asshole. Let's see, more comments. You're the asshole, not the asshole for the rule. You're the asshole if you bitch about people making other plans. Okay? You're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're the asshole, you're the asshole. Not enough info. Are they bad drunks? Do they make people miserable and fight? Can they safely get home? Lots of addiction runs in my family, but I can recognize that most people can safely and moderately consume and still have a good time and be safe without having to make everything dry. You're the asshole, you're the asshole. Info. Why did you choose to marry into a family with a drinking culture when you hate alcohol? And then someone asks, is it even drinking culture? It sounds like they like to drink on holidays, like most other people. Yes, I think so too. Someone comments, bait and switch. You know what Christmas with your husband's side of the family usually looks like. You volunteered to host this year's Christmas festivities. You made a unilateral decision about what people would be allowed to do. Then you deliberately waited until someone asked something relevant to bring to the no alcohol rule on them. Yeah, you didn't even tell them. That's also true. The sister came to you and was asking about bringing something with alcohol in it, and that's when you decided to tell her that it was no alcohol. You didn't even tell them. If she didn't come to you with that martini, no one would have known, and they would come to your house and there wouldn't have been any alcohol, and they would have been disappointed, and you would have ruined Christmas because there might have been a fight, or there might have been just disappointed people around because there was no alcohol. I think, yeah, that makes you more the asshole. Thinking about it that way, you were already the asshole. Now you're surprised and offended that they were so annoyed by your tactics that they've noped out of the whole circus. So you're framing it as my husband's sister is hosting an alternate gathering that almost everyone is choosing to go instead, all because they would have to spend one day sober. Instead of the more accurate, my husband's sister is hosting an alternative gathering because they took offense at my manipulative behavior and they want to drink alcohol at Christmas time, as is their tradition. Yeah, I think, yeah. It's not simply one day sober and you know it. They're trying to make them all sound like a bunch of lushes who can't go a few hours without alcohol ever, rather than people who choose to relax at Christmas, which is once a year, with a specific drug of choice. Quote, now husband is mad because I'm making him stay home and spend Christmas with me. Jeez, the poor dude, why are you making him do anything? Why are you so focused on controlling everyone's actions? Yes, why are you so controlling? Quote, but it was my turn to host and I chose to have no alcohol. They could have dealt with it for 1 year. Well, sure, they could have. They chose not to let your decisions negatively affect them or stop celebrating Christmas the way they wanted. They didn't want to be disrespectful by coming into your home and breaking the rules you had set for it. So instead, they removed themselves from your vicinity since you were the problem. Yes, you're the asshole. 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 Not the asshole. You can choose to have a dry Christmas party, but they can choose to attend a different one. Yes. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. I'll go with not the asshole. You chose to set certain rules for your party. they chose not to participate. You have the right to not drink, to not like alcohol. They have the right to drink it. I'm sorry your husband is caught in the middle. It seems like he does not share your opinion. He is also allowed to be unhappy with your decision. All the people that are saying not the asshole or no assholes here are saying that the family, your husband's family, is totally in their right by choosing to go to another party because there is no alcohol in your party. So I agree, and you are the asshole because of the controlling behavior and the manipulation of your husband and his family. Okay, let's go to the next story. And this comes from Best of Redditor Updates. The original post comes from r/regretful parents. And this is a subreddit that is a safe place for parents to share any regrets they have concerning their children. So let's get into this one. For your information, using a throwaway account since my husband follows the main one. It has taken me more than I want to admit to be able to make this post, but I hope maybe some other parents who have been in a similar situation can use this to feel less alone. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful and smart children. After giving birth to my first child, I immediately regretted my decision. Ooh. I realized I was not fit to be a mother and did not love my child as a mother should. My husband, a couple of years after the first, convinced me to have another. I was at first extremely hesitant and did not want other children, but I decided that maybe this was a way to fix things and give my other child a chance to have a sibling. That, of course, didn't work. My husband loves kids, and because we come from a culture that sees the more children the better, I gave in once again and had a third. I realized more children didn't really change that much for me. I was already a mother after my first, and my life was already ruined back then. That's so hard to go through. I can imagine that is because, people are always so adamant about when you're a mother, your mother instincts will kick in and you will love them for certain. And I can imagine that if that doesn't happen for you and people keep saying that you can feel very misunderstood, very not seen, and it is also a taboo probably to talk about this. So it is great that this subreddit exists and that you can vent a little over there, I guess. Moving on, now I don't want anyone to think that I am a bad mother. I am a great mother and fight to hide my depression every day. That is one of the reasons I went all out this Christmas. I had suddenly gotten a flash of energy that I decided I wanted to use this Christmas. My husband, loving my change in attitude and spending time with family, was all game on having a huge Christmas family party, which included our parents, our siblings, and all our children. We were a lot of people, and most slept in our house on Christmas Eve. There were a lot of presents under the tree because of that. So, this also sounds like you might have postpartum depression that hasn't been treated, and you've been depressed for since you got your first child, and that might be the reason that you feel this way. But I don't want to gaslight you into thinking that this is not the way you feel and would feel if you didn't have depression. On Christmas morning, I woke up earlier than the others to prepare breakfast, and I look inside the living room and just scream, completely breaking down crying. All of the presents had been opened. The boxes were opened and the presents were scattered everywhere. I completely lost it, and that woke up the others. When the children saw, they started crying too. They had all been so excited for the many presents this year. The adults were in shock. Well, if you wonder who the culprit was, we quickly figured out that it was my youngest. He literally went downstairs with one of his opened presents. They have recently entered a super defiant and curious age, and I know I can't blame them, but God, I hate them for what they did. I'm sorry, but I do. That's harsh. That's very harsh. My husband's parents started lecturing me on how I should have been raising my child to not even think about doing things like that. Well, it's not, no, that's not the way it works. If your child is, you know, 3 or something, they will do whatever they want uh, if they are unsupervised, and you cannot blame the mother for their actions. I don't think that's fair. My parents started arguing with my husband's parents. My children were screaming and crying, asking me, "Mommy, will we not have presents?" and stuff like that. My youngest was just looking at the scene innocently, as though they don't know it made me extremely mad. I just lost it. I walked out of the house with my purse in my pajamas and just drove away. I went to a hotel and just stayed there for a couple of days in shock, trying to process my feelings towards my children and just bawling my eyes out. I probably traumatized them. The whole time, my husband and family had been blowing up my phone, scolding me for just leaving. But if I hadn't left to cool down, I don't know what I had done. I think it's good that you took yourself out of the situation if it was that emotionally heavy for you, if it was so emotional for you that if you didn't know what you would do if you hadn't done that. But I do think, I don't know if you did this, but I think a message to your husband just saying you're okay, you're in a hotel and you are just spending some time away would have been a good thing to do. I eventually went back home. The children seemed fine. Apparently, my husband had just handed them their open presents and that took their minds off things. The rest of the family helped create a somewhat Christmas for all the children. I do feel bad for leaving. I feel like my kids are going to hate me for it when they grow up. My husband still resents me too. He said I failed as a mother. That's so harsh. And that he never thought I would do something like that to the kids or him. Well, I mean, you just left. Maybe I overreacted. I just don't know. Something triggered inside of me. Maybe I overreacted. I just don't know. Something triggered inside of me. I don't think it was just because of the presents. This was about my whole motherhood. My family told me that someday I will be able to look back on this and laugh, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I can't even look at my youngest right now. I think, OP, I'm so sorry, but this is so difficult. But I think you just need some professional help. And reading this, it sounds like you come from a culture and you are living in a culture that maybe is not as aware of postpartum depression and is not as open about discussing troubles like that. But I hope you can find the right people to help you with this. It seems like you're just having a bad time right now, and that's okay. Everyone has their bad days. And of course, you're not saying that you're having a bad day, you're having a bad years. Um, that's so difficult, and I hope that this will be resolved at some point. There are some relevant comments by OP, so let's read them. I agree family therapy would be the best. My husband is just extremely against all stuff mental illness and family problems. See? That sounds like that's part of the problem. He is very old school, but I will definitely talk about it with him again. Please do. It sounds like you're trying to get over this by yourself without any help, without even any help or support from your significant other. And it just really sounds like postpartum depression that has gone untreated. In my culture, it is sadly very common for the mother to be the glue that holds it all together. Maybe if it had not been my party too, it had been easier for me, but I don't know. It is not that often that our parents come over, but this year I really just wanted the big, glossy family picture for some reason. It all just escalated. It was naive of me to think I could handle it. But I agree that as women, we are born in pain and carry the pain throughout our whole life. Birth in pain, carry the family on our shoulders in pain too. It is a tough job being a woman. That is heartbreaking. I'm so sorry, Opie, that you feel that way. He's very much not an emotional person, and I knew that. Our relationship has been very distorted since we had children. I know he loves me as the mother of his children, but sometimes I worry he doesn't love me, you know? Oh, that's. I'm so sorry, OP. This sounds like such a hard time for you. He does tend to put the children before me always, which I have no problem with. It is understandable, but sometimes I feel as if he puts the children first, even with small things like playing with them instead of helping me with dinner. I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit selfish, but I really just wish he would want to spend time with me sometimes. He is also very traditional. The wife takes care of the kids, clean, and so on, which really developed ever since we got kids. He is a great father, though. It sounds like he wants all the fun, but none of the burdens. He is having all of the good times and none of the bad times. He is doing all of the playtime and none of the work, and everything falls on your shoulders, even though you're not having a great time right now and you're not doing very well right now. It sounds like no one is taking care of you and you are taking care of everyone. And that just is really sad. So, on to the update. First of all, I want to thank you to those who have commented such nice things and helpful advice. With you guys, I have finally been able to see clearly. For some, it might be stupid that an internet site completely changes one's mind, but I have had no friends, no strangers, and certainly no family telling me any of the things I have been told in this group about me, my family, and the particular situation that occurred Christmas morning. Yeah, it sounded like you were all alone in this world, and that's really sad. And I'm glad that Reddit could hopefully help you. Honestly, it was a wake up call. Looking back at my life, I have started to notice the wrongful way I've been treated more and more by my husband, his family, and sometimes even mine. It has been almost as if I have just become used to my role as a mother and wife and therefore forgotten myself completely, forgotten my own needs and desires, and now I finally see just how unhappy I actually am. That's so sad. I'm not gonna lie, this last week has been hell. I've been reading the comments and bawling my eyes out late into the night on a chair on the porch while everyone was asleep. It was almost kind of catharsis in a way. I suggested going to family therapy to my husband, but he wouldn't hear none of it. Sounds like a great guy. He wouldn't put the kids in it and claimed the only one who needed therapy was me. It was like talking to a wall, and when the argument got really heated, he did something that changed my view of him forever. What did he do? It made me realize that I don't even know this man anymore and that I needed to get the F out, even though he apologized profusely. Did he hit you? Did he hit you? I went to my parents' house again, bawling my eyes out, and told them everything that had happened. My mom cried with me, and my father had an aura of sadness around him, of course, as many dads, having that stone cold and strong face. I knew he was hurting though. I yelled at my parents for the way they had treated me Christmas morning, not defending me, and texting me guilt tripping messages. Also, about past similar situations, even about my childhood. They were quite shocked. I never yelled, never reacted this way, and they were actually sorry, like genuinely. They apologized. It sounds like you're finally getting all your burdens off your chest, and that's good. Then I dropped the next big bomb on them. I want a divorce. I am done. You guys were incredibly right. I would die, go insane, or something even worse in that environment, and see that now. It's like I have a moment of clarity and I had to act now, not to fall back into the old ways. They were, of course, hesitant in the start, but soon came to realize that it was for the best for honestly everyone. A lot was discussed at their house that is way too long and complicated to talk about here. So that's what I did. I went and filed for divorce. He, of course, was incredibly enraged as I was packing my things at the house with my parents. He kept telling me slurs and hurtful things the whole time, but I knew I had to stay strong. Now, a bit of information on the divorce. Firstly, his parents are rather wealthy. He can easily get amazing lawyers and legal advice and so on. I knew going into this that I would probably not get anything out of the divorce, which was exactly how it went. Oh, you are already divorced. The house, the cars, the kids, he wanted it all, but I didn't care. I just want the divorce finalized. You can start over, I guess. If that's his criteria for getting my life back, I'll take it. A long legal battle wouldn't be fair for the kids, anyways, and I wouldn't even be able to take care of them if I, for some reason, actually won. I know they will be loved, cared for, and happy with their father, and that is the best I can give them right now. I will be able to see them once a month if I see fit, though, and for me, that's perfect. It sounds like you need time for yourself. I think it's actually better that you did not get the kids in your custody because it sounds like you definitely just need some time for yourself, work on yourself, and then later you can be a better mother for your children if that's what you want. This is hard because the kids are involved and they want their mother, of course, and they want to be loved by their mother and they need to be loved by their mother. So that is a hard thing, but I think it will be better for everyone involved if you take some time for yourself first and then assess the situation once you have found your way back to yourself. I won't describe too much about how saying goodbye to the kids went. Of course, it was absolutely heartbreaking in many ways, but it is too late to look back now. We have explained to them together about what's going to happen, how it is going to be, and so on. The divorce is still being finalized, so technically I'm not completely free, but in spirit I feel so freaking free. It is as if a weight on my shoulders has been lifted. Of course, I carry the guilt and sadness for my kids deep inside, but I keep telling myself that I did what was best for both of them and me. I send them thoughts every day, and I plan on writing them a long letter each about my side of the story. I want them to understand that none of this was their fault. I currently live with my parents, and I feel a sense of sadness for them too. They will, of course, miss the big family and the kids, but I think they know they had to put me first this time. Of course, they do not agree with everything, but I never expected them to. Talking about my husband's family, on the other hand, my God, the guilt tripping. We know this isn't you, the messages were endless. I simply had to block them in the end. It was too much. When the divorce is finalized, we will let my siblings know as well. I have no idea how they are going to take it. My husband's siblings had just blocked me, which honestly was fine for me. I found out because I kind of imagined they would do something like that and had to check after blocking his parents. I know some people may see me as a horrible mother and person, but for once I chose to listen to my heart with a little push from some people online. Thank you to you all once again. I am at this moment looking at hotels in Spain, just waiting for the divorce to be finished. I am visiting an old friend over there that I haven't been allowed to visit. You haven't been allowed to visit in years? Who is allowing you to do anything? That sounds like it was the best decision to divorce. I had a little saving outside my marriage, enough to spend a week or two over there. Luckily, my workplace is owned by a friend that was super understanding, so they let me have a month off to figure out a place to live and have some time for myself. It is as if I am in a dream and I'm scared of waking up suddenly. I feel like a new woman. Can't wait for the plane ride away from the country. And even if it is just for a while, it will feel as if I am living a truly new life. I wish you all luck and joy throughout your lives. Lots of love, Alice. And that was it for that story. And I feel like there's not much I can say on this topic any more than I already have. Like I said, I think it is postpartum depression that has gone untreated, unnoticed. I think this woman has been neglected by her family. Her needs were never met, and she was being controlled by her husband for sure. I think this was the best for her. I hope the kids will come out of this good as well. I hope that, in a year or so, she's going to feel better and be able to love her children more. And if not, I hope everyone can find closure because I know that it is hard for kids to be abandoned by their mother, which she's not abandoning them, but it is definitely going to be hard on the children, so I hope they will come out of this okay as well. But I do think she did what was best, for sure. That was pretty depressing and not very Christmassy, was it? Let's do one more. Am I the asshole for telling my parents I won't attend their Christmas celebration until they send my husband a separate invitation? I'll preface this by saying that my husband Luke, male 32, does not get along with my parents. You can't tell who's right or who's wrong. There's always this ongoing tension between them, but can be civil enough to sit together at one table. Sounds very gezellig. I recently got an invitation for Christmas celebration from my parents. The invitation including me and Luke, but Luke thought this was somewhat rude and disrespectful because he believes he should get his own invitation and not have the same mentioned as an extension to mine. That's not correct. If you are a couple, you get one invitation with both your names on it, right? Um, that's a weird thing to. That sounds like Luke is just looking for trouble, isn't it? We talked and he said he won't go unless they send him a proper invitation. I called my mom and asked if she could do it. She thought it was ridiculous and said that she and dad did the same thing with my sister and her husband. I told her it was fine, but Luke can be sensitive like that, and so a simple invitation of a text directly to him will fix it. No, we are not accommodating stupid people. That's harsh for me, but I mean, come on, come on. He is just trying to be a dick about this, even though your parents did exactly what is supposed to happen when with invitations. This is not. They're not. Luke is being a little bit of a whiny bitch. Sorry. She got defensive and said that Luke is being ridiculous. He is. Dad claimed that Luke is trying to pull some power move to humiliate them, but I thought this was a small issue. No, Luke is definitely trying to pull a power move on them. They still thought it was so ridiculous, so I told them I won't attend if they don't send him a separate invitation, because he won't attend if he doesn't get it. So don't come. I'm getting fed up with your antics, Barbara. This blew up and my sister started arguing, saying Luke needs to get over himself, and shamed me for trying to force our parents to send him an invitation by saying I won't come if they don't. Your sister is right. We haven't talked after that and we're waiting as of now. Keep waiting. You're being stupid. Okay, top comment says Luke is the asshole and you're the asshole for condoning it. When you're married, you don't get separate invitations. Your mom called and said, I hope you guys can come for Christmas, or we're looking forward to seeing you at Christmas. That is the royal you, not just you, OP. Question: if a friend issued the same invitation as your mom did, would Luke be kicking up a fuss or would he just go? This isn't about the invitation. Luke just doesn't want to go. Your choice is to stay with him or go without him. But your parents don't have to issue Luke his own special private invitation. And think hard. Is this really the only time he kicks up a fuss, or do you tiptoe around a lot of things? Be honest. Yeah, I think this is hitting the nail on its head. So OP has an edit. The invitation I received was in a text. Luke is saying that a simple text to him will finish the conflict, but my parents still think it's ridiculous and that they won't invite him since they already have. Luke, Luke, please grow up. What are you doing? Why do you insist on making a rift between your wife and her family? That is a red flag. That is a big red flag. Okay, so OP has an update. I just got off the phone with my sister. She told me our parents have just disinvited me. Luke was probably already disinvited since the argument occurred from the celebration. I feel horrible, but I can't argue anymore. Just like I can't argue about what everybody else in the comments is saying. I admit it, Luke is the problem. He just caused me to be disinvited from the event and is blaming me for it. Yeah, OP, I think maybe Luke is not the guy for you. I mean, I'm not usually very quick to say that maybe a relationship isn't working out, but this sounds like a bad guy and someone you should be looking out for. And he is giving off red flags from just this story, and this is just a tiny snippet of your life with him. So hopefully you are okay, and hopefully you can leave this guy because... Okay, so this next commenter says, "Oh my god, I think I was married to Luke, or maybe it was a look-alike." So funny. OP honey, Luke is the asshole, and I'd venture to say he'd spun you right round, baby, right round, because you trust him over your own lion eyes. Anyway, this kind of thing, getting pulled into your partner's temper tantrum, having a partner who creates strife in your family, feeling like you need to stay home from holidays to show solidarity with partner's ridiculousness, all that comes of being subjected to lots of controlling behavior. It does. When you start being an asshole, and you have, just to avoid the fallout of displeasing Luke, he can sit back and smoke a cigar and enjoy watching the carnage. His work is done, you're fighting with your people, you don't know which way is up, and you're clinging to him for balance. Maybe your parents are controlling too, and it just hasn't come up here. There's a reason his behavior hasn't got all your sirens blaring, and maybe it's because people pleasing is emotionally familiar territory. Yeah, that sounds like correct. That sounds correct. I think your parents probably are pretty well, maybe not your parents, but something happened in your life where this controlling behavior seems normal to you and like something that is just the way things go. And for some reason, you feel like you need to condone everything that Luke does, even though he is clearly in the wrong. I hope that your eyes are opening from making this Reddit post, and hopefully you can... I don't want to just by this story say that you should leave Luke, but I think you should leave Luke and your life will be better. Anyway, that was the last story from me for today. I enjoyed making this one again, like I did last time. So I think this will probably be something that will be coming up more regularly on my channel. Just not Christmas themed anymore, because Christmas is already almost around the corner. Maybe next time I will make a New Year's one, or Easter, or maybe I can find some bookish Reddit stories. That would be fun as well. So that's it from me for today. I hope you liked today's video. Please comment down below what you thought of these stories. I would love to hear from you. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!